Hello, this is Old Electronics Fan, and well, I was going to call this part 2 of my cassette repair, because I had originally intended to add one of the decks that we're going to look at in this video to the previous video. But given that the previous video was all about the Pioneer, and I'd wrap that up, because I can't really call this a part 2. So, let's call it the continuing cassette saga, I guess. So, I'm going to be looking at a Realistic dual deck unit and a Sharp dual deck unit. Just so happens I had those. And I decided, and both of those needed attention. I knew that. They weren't behaving properly. So, I had so much fun doing the first one, I thought, what the heck. Plus, I'm going to look at them anyway, so I might as well take you guys along for the ride. So, we're going to start off by looking at the Realistic, find out what's going on with that. We're going to decide, or I'm going to decide what I'm going to do with that. And then move on to the Sharp. And then when I get all done, I'm going to explain why I was surprised by what I found when I was looking at these two units. So I'm hoping this one will be of value to some people. I'm hoping that there might be some tips and tricks on troubleshooting decks that you can use. These two decks have different problems, and so hopefully that will mean that it's not boring. I hope that you enjoy it. So, without further ado, we're going to put the Realistic cassette deck on the bench and see what we find there, and then move on to the Sharp. One of the things that I was interested in when I was looking at this was the comparing these two was, I don't know, I think well, I'm not sure which one of these is easier to work on. Let's see, what I'm trying to do, see if I can install the pulley for the motor, and let's see. I don't see that the belts are the problem, and I see a lot of gear drives. Let's see, how much of a pain is this one to take apart? And this is unplugged, yes. I always try to make sure of that. One of the reasons, let's see. Yeah. This is your power cord going straight to bare pins. The older electronics you have to be careful of, because you'll see hot stuff like this when you open them up, which is why I do this before I look inside, because I don't like getting bit. It hurts. So just be aware when you're dealing with some of this vintage stuff, the way these things are put together, it's just not as safe as the more modern stuff. So that's one of the advantages of the modern products. Now, the question is, what do we got here? Let's see, I'm trying to see what I'm dealing with. So I've got this bracket that holds this in place. I've got screws on the bottom, 1, 2, 3. Actually, let me do this first. I'll find another cheap piece of tape that I don't care about and see if I can destroy that one. There we go. Okay, I should have dug that out beforehand. I have to remember that's hot. My digits away from that. Now, I wish I could remember exactly what is wrong with this, but let's see. I lose my... There we go. Play. Yeah. So this one does that. Try to play. And the auto reject place works. Let's see if it works on this side. Or not. Maybe it's the tape. Let's find out. Well. Well, now. Maybe the problem is the tape and not the tape player. That seems smooth enough. Oh. Yeah. You won't see that on camera, but the tape actually looks like it's been folded. So let's see. Is that my problem? Yes, it's working now. Let's try this side. Okay, let's see if fast forward works. Rewind. Well, I know this player had a problem. Is it going to make a liar out of me? Okay, rewind does not work very well on this one. I knew there was a problem. Let's see, is this one rewind? How about fast forward? Let's flip this around. Okay, so this side seems to be working pretty well. This side, however, so right now it's rewinding when it's got the empty spool on the left. Let's see, does it fast forward? That doesn't sound all that healthy. Let's see. Okay, it won't rewind. So, I knew this had something wrong. Let's find out what's going on here. Can we see what's going on? I don't know if you'll be able to see, but let's see. We're going to put some light on here and see what's going on here. So, rewind. Okay. That might be a problem. I don't know if you could see what I was doing. Remember I mentioned about these clutches maybe not being so healthy? This pulley was spinning like mad, but this part right here was just sitting there. In fact, you can see I can hold it with my screwdriver, and let's see what this side is like. Kind of hard to tell. Yeah, I think the felt is worn out on this. This has had a lot of use. Well. What are we going to do about you? What I'd like to do, well, maybe. what would be nice is if I had if there were replacement parts for that where you get a new felt. Chances are slim and none of finding anything like that. Now, one of the things I see in here, I don't know if I can, where's my flashlight? Flashlight. Alright. And you're not seeing anything. Darn, I hate when I do that. Let's see here. That's where I want to look, right there. So if I swing this around, or not. Yeah, I don't know if you can see. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more. Yeah, there's stuff in the way. Yeah, well, I'm afraid you can't see what I see. What's going on is there's a white piece of nylon, there's a nylon washer here, and there's a spring between this washer and this pulley, and that spring is putting pressure on this clutch, which is over here. So what's supposed to be happening is this clutch is only supposed to slip when absolutely necessary. For instance, when your tape is playing, and when those felt clutches get worn out, bad things happen. Let's see. Let's see if I can. And stop. Let's see if I hit play, rewind. Yeah. And let's unplug you. No, I want that. Can I? I bet it won't let me. It won't let me do what I want to do. Open. Maybe it will. Oh. Okay. So, let me see. Well, that's interesting. Let's check this out. I'm comparing. I'm using the belt that's around the. Let's back up because you can't see a single thing I'm doing. All right. So what I'm doing. Okay, let me see if I can get this off from here. Come on. Okay, so remember this one goes where? Alright, so what I'm doing is I am, now you notice, I don't know if you can see this is moving. So what I'm trying to do is move so I'm reaching behind and I'm holding the flywheel because the belt from the flywheel goes to the motor, and then the belt from the motor goes up to drive this. So I'm trying to see how much resistance I get from this side. And I go over here. Yeah, that's not, oh, that's bad. Okay, I know what's wrong with this. I don't know if there's an answer to that, how to fix that. But that clutch is shot, unfortunately. That's not nice. So it looks like the felt clutch inside of this is gone. I see a definite difference between this one and this one. And right now I'm not entirely certain I want to fight with that. Let me see. Is there anything I could do? Let's see. Yeah. There's a possibility what I might be able to do. And I'm not sure I want to do this right now, but now let's see. That nylon washer I showed you earlier, there's a little bit of a space behind that. There's a plastic collar that this shaft goes through, and there's a possibility, I'm not sure 100% if I can do this, but there's a possibility I could put a C-clip in between the nylon piece and that plastic part. My concern is that yeah, I don't like that idea. My concern is that the C-clip is just going to tear up the plastic part that the shaft goes through, and then it really won't work. So we're going to put this aside for now. I'm going to take a quick look at the other one, because I think that's just what I'm going to do. I'm not going to bother putting this one back together yet. We'll just park it off to the side and pull the other one up onto the bench. At least I know what's going on with you. Let's take this one apart. Alright. But before we do that, let's see if this one has a similar problem. This is also a dual deck, and let's see, power. Yes, we have power. Okay, this is really interesting. You can this is auto reverse and manual reverse. When it's playing, you can hit this lever down, and it will go the opposite direction. You got two arrows pointing in different directions, and you've got two positions here. One is normal, and one is automatically switching between forward and backward, and so it'll keep playing. Well, it'll just keep on playing the tape over and over again until something gives out. This also has high-speed dubbing, and both of these tape decks have the same setup. Only one of them has a tape counter on it. So let's see what we have here. Well, I don't need you in there, do I? We want you. Let's see. Alright, so let's see. Fast forward. That one's working just fine. Let's do rewind. Nope. So rewind is broken on that one. Let's see what this does. It's probably the same problem. Yeah, nope. Okay, so let's see. Rewind. I put them the wrong way. So fast forward works in that direction. Let's put this around again. Okay, so that works. So now I gotta go back here, and I gotta go. This side may be working better than the other side. I know that both of these dual decks had problems. Alright. That's interesting. So So this side actually seems to be working okay. Let me just, it's supposed to really automatically stop, I think. And it's not auto-stopping. Yeah. When you put the full reel on the right-hand side and tell it to fast forward. Let's see, well that works. Well, maybe I was wrong. Alright. Yeah, that works. Okay, so let's go back to this one. So I got the full reel on this side. What I'm going to do is rewind it a bit, if it will let me. And, oops. Alright, now we'll do, so that's working okay. Let's try this. So I'm going to do a rewind. Well, now you're making a liar out of me and working. I remember trying to get this to work, and it didn't want to. Well, now. Okay. That's behaving. Let's flip it around. I know that one, I'm pretty sure that one of these decks on this thing was, well now, that's interesting. Alright, let's see if I can, oh, this, I've got to remember. Oh, there it goes. I don't know why it took forever to do that. That was the other thing, is I tried to get one side to play, and it did that. It didn't want to go. And this deck is it has, I thought, somewhere a control that would, if you're in dubbing mode, the tape that you were operating from wouldn't operate until this one was actually rotating and in record mode. It's been a long time since I played with this. So, Dolby, huh. Well, this one's making a liar out of me because it's working like a model citizen. And I know I had trouble with this. I know this didn't want to play well with others. One side just didn't want to go. Well now. Let's see. Yeah. It's working. Well, I guess we won't be doing, well, I'm going to take the cover off just to see what this looks like inside. It looks like this cassette deck's actually working. It seems to be doing better than I thought it was. And I think what I'm going to do is also take that tape I made and play it in this and see what it sounds like. So I'd be curious to see. I'm pretty sure that's the tape. So we're just playing around now. Now, that problem I'm having with it not playing on this one side, there's a real possibility a very real possibility that I have a flaky switch in this cassette player. And if I can see anything obvious, I'll probably hit it with some contact cleaner and see if that improves the issue or not. I'm also curious to see what the difference is between this cassette player and the one I just said is maybe too tired to even play with. And I remember using the Realistic one a lot and actually being fairly happy with it. So even though it wasn't as high quality as the Sony, it seemed to work okay. And it sort of worked well enough for my purposes, for dubbing and all that. Okay. Let's go. Oh. Well, that's different. Looks like this was a higher quality unit. This was a Sharp. What are you? Sharp. Possibly. Well, it has... This is not on the same level as the Sony, but it may, well, let's just say it's okay. Hiding down in here is, let's do this. That right there is the flywheel. As you can see, it's a lot smaller than the one that's on the Sony. And the other thing you'll notice, maybe you can see, maybe you can't, maybe not. Let's see, can't we do it this way? And we'll tilt this up. It's so hard to try to get this right. I'm looking at, yeah, this, okay. Let's slide that down a little bit. See where I am. The way this works is the belt here goes around and comes around down the back of this, oh, rats. This belt doesn't go around the flywheel, it goes this way and around the side of the flywheel, so it's just kind of riding against it. How far does that go? I can't tell. Does that go the entire length of the unit? Wow. Okay. I'm going to take back any bad thoughts I was having about this. Alright. What this is doing, and you can't see anymore because I split it up. Alright. So the motor right here, the belt comes off from here, goes around the back side of the flywheel, it goes all the way over, goes around this, come on, can't get any light on it, here we go, and, right, goes around this, goes back around and goes over and then back around the pulley and up to the motor. So it actually does wrap around that flywheel quite a bit. So my question is a couple of things. Yeah, I keep looking at stuff that you're not seeing. Let's get out of there. So what I want to know is my on-off switch or my play button. Let's turn the power off. Ah, this is interesting. Let's get this up. Just wanted to show you this. I don't know if this is newer or older. This is where your AC power line comes in, and it's got these plastic caps on it, and it's covered by a plastic sleeve. So they definitely took greater pains to make sure that there was no live stuff poking out into the area where you might be working on this unit. That's nice. So far, I'm kind of impressed by this Sharp. And I keep dropping this thing. And I want to see. All right. Aha. There is a little micro switch. Yeah. Down here, there's a micro switch. Right down there, you can see a little white thing jiggling. Right, mounted right here, right in this area, is a micro switch. And that might be my culprit for delayed response. I'm just not sure if there's any easy way to get to that without taking this all apart. I see two screws that are designed to come off. They're marked in red. Whoops. Got two screws here marked in red. Like both of those, them have those. And they're on the bottom. So actually these two screws and these two screws on the bottom might be all I need to get to. You know what? I'm going to try to get to that. I mean, that would make it nice. As much as I like my Sony and how good it sounds. Come of like, if this is that easy to get apart, that's going to be really nice. Come on, come on. Wow, longish one. Yes, that thing is all loose now. Well now. Trying to avoid having that mechanism just drop out of sight. Probably should have done the bottom screws first and then the top screws. Oh my, wow. That is kind of nice. Now let's see. What's going to get in my way here? Is there anything that's going to get in my way? Let's see, can we? There's some wires here in the way. And if we can get those to let go, let's see. Don't know if that will do me any good, but I'm going to try it. So we're that close. We're so close. And I think maybe these wires are just the only thing in my way. Oh, we might be there. Almost there. Let's get you out of here. Alright, can we get you out of there now? Let's see. It's so close. Oh, there it goes. Just had to be gentle and persuaded a little. Okay, well, that's interesting. Alright, so one of the things I see, this is all gear driven, which is nice. Let's see. Alright, okay. It is nice. Well, I gotta say, so what I was hoping to do, since I can get this out, is use that little micro switch shot. Oh, it's not a micro switch. It's just a, boy, I don't know if I can get you in there to see that. Basically, it's just two fingers with contact surfaces on them, and when you hit play, they come together and make a connection. I'm debating. There's a couple of ways you can clean those. Boy. I want to get some magnification on that if I can. As I've gotten older, I've discovered there's two things I sometimes need to do. One is more light, and one is more magnification. Let's see. Can I see what I want to see? Well, I'm going to hit it with some contact cleaner to start with. Then, if I can get a piece of paper in there, let's see. Alright, and I'm going to try to reach down in there with, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my hemostats. I'm going to try to get down in there, and I'm going to try to get that in between the two contacts. Yeah, I can see some dirt and crud on there. So I think that may have indeed been my problem child. That may be why it decided to think about things a bit before it actually did anything. I'm kind of shocked that it worked. Although in the past when I've tried it, it simply did not work. I don't know if that's enough of a cleaning or not. Let's try doubling this over so you have a little bit more thickness, a little bit more stiffness. Let's see. Okay. No, I don't want to do that. So now I've folded it. It's probably not going to be very strong anyway. Come on. Not exactly a lot of room. That's what we want you to do. Or not. Come on. Let's try this again. Yeah, there we go. Yes, that's what I wanted. I had to double it up so I actually had some stiffness. And doubling it up also gave it more thickness. I think you can see that. I hope you can. Dirt, crud, corrosion, whatever. So I won't know until I try it, but I think that did a nice job on that. between the contact cleaner and the paper, that may have solved my problem on this side. But here's the thing with this setup. Well, number one, I want to clean this roller up with some rubber renew. It should work just fine. Just to clean it a bit. Hopefully soften it a little. All right. I can't do that and have you see what I'm doing, can I? No. All right. So all I'm really doing is I'll just get my cleaner on the cap stand. I'm just rubbing it on there. Yeah, dirty. I don't really expect that this capstan roller was going to be a problem. But since I've got it apart, I don't think it hurts just to clean it a little bit and to see if you can soften it a little bit with this stuff. I don't think it hurts. And you can see, you'll be able to see in a minute how much crud is coming off from that capstan, that rubber pulley. There we are, pretty nasty. And that makes a nice big difference in how that looks. Okay, that makes me happy. So, this is actually a very nice mechanism. Oh, the other thing that I wanted you to see is that this head is designed to spin. How this works is, I can't release it, but when you tell this thing to release, this head spins completely around, so that when you play in the opposite direction, I should clean this head while I'm in here. You've got these two little fingers here. Oops. Got these two little fingers here. When you hit reverse, this drops down, it spins, and they wind up over here. It actually spins the head completely around. And so now you're playing. It's an interesting setup. It's a little gear on the bottom, it spins it. Apparently they thought that was less expensive than having two heads on here. Maybe they thought it would give you better quality, because when you start packing heads on something like this, you may wind up with a bit more noise than you want. Let's see, I want to clean that tape head since I'm in here. Well, I can see why this worked better than the other cassette deck. Now, technically, you really shouldn't use alcohol in these. They actually make a special head cleaner, and the head cleaner leaves a thin film of a lubricant. At least that's my understanding from years and years ago. Maybe it was just marketing, I don't know. Oh, I forgot, I've got two. Okay, that's the other thing about this thing, is it's got two capstan rollers, which I forgot about, since it does pull in both directions. Alright, let's just clean this up a little bit since we're here. So I'm going after this little roller, and it actually is cleaning it rather nicely too. The film is coming off really well. I think you're probably always seeing is my knuckles. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. It seems like it's impossible. Alright, so all I was doing was getting in there and cleaning this pinch roller. I have one here and one here, and I'd forgotten there were two because it's auto reverse with a spinning head. So I want them both clean. Alright. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Alright, well that's pretty fascinating. I wonder if I can clean the cap stands for this one from this side. The play switch on this side doesn't, well, let's get out of here. The play switch on this side didn't seem to be giving me grief. This one did. Although, can I? Yeah, maybe. We're going to try it. Because if I had problems on one side, there's a real chance I had problems on the other. And let me rip another piece of paper off here. Scrap. And then what I'm going to do is give my other switch spritz, wherever you are. Where'd you go? Oh, there's a switch up here too. Oh. Huh. That is play. Let's see. Can I get to you? Yeah, there you are. Okay. And again, you're probably going to wind up just looking at my knuckles. Ah! Don't do that. Alright, so what I want to do though is oh, there it is. It's back there. Okay. Looking in the wrong place. So what I'm going to do is, down here is the switch. Right down here I'm going to shoot. And I'm going to give that a shot. And then we're going to get in there with this. And hopefully do the same thing we did to the other side. Yeah. And there's some corrosion that came off from that switch as well. So this is kind of a nice mechanism. What I really like about it is that there are no rollers, no rubber rollers. Everything's belt and gear. Everything is gears. There's no belts anywhere, or no rollers anywhere, other than the pinch roller. Which means that there's one less point of failure. So it looks like the Sharp has the better tape mechanism. If you look at, I mentioned this before, I'm going to repeat myself. You look at this, of course this is a reversing deck, but if you look at this and compare it to the modern deck or cassette mechanisms, and there's no comparison. The quality of this is way superior. Now I still like the Sony because it has the larger flywheel. I think that was a much more expensive deck than this one, possibly. Let's see here. Come on. And I want to get those wires down there. In there. Let's see if we can bend that back where it belongs. No. Yeah. This is fun. Really. Not. Alright. So I've got that in place. Gotta remember to put my connector back. Maybe I should do that now before I can't. Okay. Alright. I'm going to go there. Let's see. Are we hitting something here? There we go. gentle is the watchword when dealing with this stuff. Because it's far too easy to go and mash something that you didn't want to mash. And you'd be very unhappy. So, well, I'm kind of amazed. I don't recall ever having this one apart before. And I did not know that it was really designed to be serviced so easily. Now I'm purposely going to leave these screws a little bit loose because I want to make sure that these screws going into the bottom, if I have to wiggle something around to make them align, I can. It's a lot harder when the screws are not loose. That worked perfectly. No alignment needed. Alright. So now I'm really hoping that that switch that I just cleaned on this side of the unit, I'm going to, do I have? Yes. I'll use my little shorty. Well, alright, I have a shorty screwdriver. That's what I probably should have dug out last time. I have no idea what we were looking at earlier. If I had to guess, you probably weren't seeing much. Sorry. I get too engrossed in what I'm doing. Okay, so, and from what I can see, I'm just trying to get a sense for the drive belt. Now this drive belt over here seems healthier than this one. This one seems a bit more stretched out. There's a real chance that this side still isn't going to work right, and it's possibly because of that belt. But we shall see. Alright. I left it plugged in. That wasn't the best idea, but I guess it wasn't too bad with this. Alright, so let's put adjunct tape in here. Alright, let's zoom out again. Sorry. I gotta stop forgetting about my camera. This is bad. Alright, so it's all back together. When I tested, maybe I'll just show you how I was testing this. I was holding the pulley here and I was reaching down here and trying to move this. And I see a difference between this one and this one. This one slides or slips, this one does not. So that tells me I've got a weak belt. So let's see. Alright. Well, that play button seems to be working a whole lot better. When I tell it to play, it actually plays. It works immediately. Oops. Well, it seems to be working okay, even though that belt is a little less than great. So what I want to do is I want to listen to how this sounds. And line out. All right. Okay. So this is a tape that I made using my Pioneer cassette deck. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I've got this little MP3 player, and it has copyright-free music on it, and so I decided, number one, I want to know how the Pioneer recorded, see what quality it had. This is not expensive tape. I'm going to tell you that right now. So maybe the quality would, in fact I'm pretty sure the quality would be better with higher quality tape. But this is tape I can safely play with, and if it gets terminated, I don't care. So let's see how this side goes. Okay, so let's see how this thing sounds using this pre-recorded tape from my other set deck. Whoops, that was a little bit loud. I don't know if you can tell just how good that sounds, but kind of surprising. Nice and clean, good bottom end, as you heard. Like I said, I cranked it a little loud there. I'm going to have to trim that back in editing. Let's see here. Okay, so we've looked at the Realistic, we've looked at this one, and I've done a little research into these two units because I didn't really know much about them. I know what my thoughts were on these. I thought that the Realistic was a better, where are you? There you are. A better, more expensive, let's see if we can get that back a little bit so we can get more of it. Alright. I thought the Realistic might have been a better, more expensive deck. I just like the look of it. The silver with the black print and the black theme. It just, I liked it, and it made me think or feel that this was a higher quality unit compared to the dark theme of this one. And well, this is where I got surprised when I took them apart, first of all. Both of these, the Realistic and the Sharp, were produced in 1985, thereabouts. They're pretty much the same age. So, I didn't know that till I investigated it. Even so, I looked at this as a cheaper cassette deck and kind of junky, actually. And actually, let me preface my my comparison with this. Both of these are low end. They are not high end. If you go to look for one of these used right now, prices with shipping range around $75, maybe. You might be able to find somebody selling it for less, but the Realistic, that one seems to be a little less money, maybe 65 thereabouts. I mean, we're talking pennies, you know, a few bucks. The Pioneer, my CT-F500, that one seems to consistently go for around 200. That one was made in 1978. So, and I think the crispness is not quite the same as on these newer decks. And I think what I'm dealing with is I believe the head on that one has probably gotten magnetized, so it's affecting the high frequency a little bit. And I'll be darned if I can find my demagnetizer, which I know I had, but who knows where I put it. The whole room has been rearranged when I put this desk in and all this other stuff, and I have no clue where that went. So, but I mean, the difference between that and these is not that great. I did play a tape, this same tape on the Realistic, and it too has a very nice, crisp, clean sound with a good bottom end. So these low-end cassette decks, they work pretty well. So back to what I was shocked by. I thought the Realistic would be more expensive, a better deck. I thought this would be a cheap piece of junk. I get inside, I see the tape mechanism, and I see that it's far from being junk. I think both the Realistic and this one are all gear drive. For good or ill, that's how they're built. Maybe that's cheaper. I suspect that's part of it. But on the plus side, as long as the felt clutches are healthy and the drive belts are healthy, that design could actually be better than the Pioneer, because you don't have those rubber rollers that get hard and are going to misbehave and slip and all that good stuff. Thankfully I was able to fix the Pioneer, but you know, that I think those aging rubber tires in there are a ticking time bomb. At some point or another I'm going to have to deal with it if I want to keep using that. But given the way this sounds, and the fact that it's working really well, I probably wouldn't have any problem, because I'm not going to be using cassette decks a lot. I mean, I use them from time to time, but I wouldn't mind having this as my primary cassette deck. It works really well. And I think that's the part that shocked me, because I had bought the Realistic brand new to replace another failing cassette deck. And I used it a lot. And I was pretty happy, and judging by what I just heard in this test tape, the reason I was happy with it, because it sounds good. Unfortunately, the second deck has given up the ghost. It is what it is. It's old. It's had a lot of use. It's not that expensive. So, so this was my surprise. Not only do I feel like this has a better drive system in it than the Realistic, it's got more features. And I can't remember what I taped, so bear with me if I repeat myself here. Now, one of the ways that you realize that this is a cheaper deck is that you've got a lot of mechanical. I mean, these are just straight mechanical buttons. There's no electronic soft touch happening here at all. Everything here is all mechanical. The newer, you can spend on better units. I think you can start off, well, let me think. Well, my Pioneer, that's a lower end model in the series of cassette decks that is a part of. But when you get into the 80s and beyond, the 90s, you will be paying for soft touch decks, higher quality units, probably starting around $350, $375 and going up. I've seen some for $500. These are huge vintage decks, and that's what they're going for. If you are an audiophile and you want the absolute top of the line, then that's what you're going to be looking at. That's what you're going to be paying. However, we've got this. The Realistic has very little information, which seems to be par for the course for Realistic stuff, a lot of it. Also, that seems to be a pattern with having hot AC connections poking out. My stereo is designed in a similar fashion, and there are a number of places in that where it's live AC just there for you to touch, which is not good. This is actually the same vintage as that, and Sharp has actually gone to great lengths to make sure that there's no hot AC roaming around in this thing. I find that very impressive. So, get to my point. This is a far better cassette player than I ever thought it was. This one is working perfectly now that I've cleaned the switches and everything is now behaving properly. I was just absolutely shocked when I took the cover off and looked at that, and then now after playing with it. This thing has features that the other one does not. I don't know what these things cost new. There's no way in the world I can get that information on the Realistic. Maybe I can find it for the Sharp. I didn't go hunting that hard for it. So what does this have? Well, let's put this on. We'll play. Okay. This has what's called APSS, I think that stands for Automatic Program Search System, and it's pretty cool. I'm playing, I want to go to the next song on my tape. It has just found the gap between the songs, and now it's now found the next song. If I want to find the next one, I do the same thing, and it's zipping along. It'll find the gap, it'll stop, and it'll play, and there it goes. Pretty cool feature. So it sounds nice. It's got that kind of cool feature. Now that APSS is only on this deck. It'd be kind of nice if it were on both, but it isn't. This has auto. Oh, let me back up. This has the ability to reverse the tape, and apparently the only way you can get it to not unreverse is stop it. I don't want to force that because that would be bad. So with this and this lever in this position, the tape goes that way. You push it down, it goes the other way. You don't have to flip the tape. And what's really cool about that is you put this lever down, this tape comes to the end, it automatically reverses and then starts playing the other side of the cassette, which is a neat feature. Now I have learned a bit more about this because I had no idea how this would work. It's also got a continuous play button over here, and they tell you in the manual, I found one, that you do not want this lever down here because it will not, that continuous play will not work. So apparently what it's going to do is keep going back and forth between these two decks. It wasn't clear whether I could put this one down and let it do its thing. I have a feeling it probably wouldn't behave. So you could probably play A over and just continuously. Or you could just push this down and you could go A, B on that particular set. It's kind of a neat thing. And of course, being dual deck, you have you have the ability to dub between one tape to the other, and it has high-speed dubbing. Of course, both of these decks have that. So that if you're copying a cassette tape, I think it goes double speed. I think that's just purely from memory. Let's see, what else does this have? Well, the APSS and the reversing capability, this is what this has over that one. The other thing about this is that there's more information available on this. I don't know that there's a lot, but you'll find more information on this than you will that. I can't even find a manual for that one. I may have one hanging out somewhere, I don't know, but if I don't, then I don't think I can even get it. So, to me, this is a little gem. And like I said, I came into this thinking, oh, realistic, good, sharp, not so much. I have changed my mind. So, here's the thing. You can get belt kits for this. I don't think you can find one for the realistic, although that's not my problem, not what the problem is. Given how little information I can find on that, finding parts for that are just, it's not going to happen. Right now I have 4 cassette players. I've got these 3 that you've seen, and I've got one more. It's called a Sankyo, not Sanyo, Sankyo. I'm actually going to look at that one just for fun to see what's wrong with it. I know it's got similar problems. That one may just be a bad belt. If it is, maybe I'll fix that one, because that's also a very nice unit. And I will check it to see how it records. Maybe the tape head is not magnetized, given I can't find my demagnetizer. It's kind of frustrating. I got way too much stuff floating around in here. Anyway, this is a Sharp RT-W800. To me, it's a nice little unit. For a basic, inexpensive tape deck, I would go with this in a heartbeat. Because you can get the belt kit for this. If the belt, I do have one belt on here that's kind of sketchy. The other side is working a lot better, so maybe I could even just find a single belt. But in any case, you can get a belt kit, 25 bucks, thereabouts, $26, depending on where you go. It's all gear driven, so you don't have to worry about having to replace the rubber drive tires in this, because there aren't any. The only thing you have is the rubber cap stem, and those usually aren't a big deal. You usually don't have any major issues with those. Those just simply work. So if I were looking for a relatively inexpensive cassette deck that sounds really nice, and it's got some cool features on it, this would be the one I would get. Are there other ones out there that are better? Possibly. I'm far from an expert in this area, but that's the surprise, that I would walk away saying, this is the better unit. This is the one I want. Well, I'm going to keep my Pioneer, and I'll have to see what my Sankyo does. But for a low-end deck, I mean, this is 85. So what does that make it? 36 years old? No, yeah, 15. Yeah, that's right. This is 36 years old. So for a 36-year-old unit, I had to clean the switches on it and clean the switch on it. That's basically all I had to do to this. It's possible that I made a mistake when I was testing this, because it's possible that this tape was all the way at the end, well, the one thing that's not working exactly right is I believe this is supposed to auto stop when you come to the end of the tape when you're doing fast forward or rewind, and this doesn't seem to want to do that. But everything else seems to work. The auto reverse works. I actually accidentally did that on this. It actually does work. I'm expecting this side to also work. Pretty neat. So anyway, if you're looking for a cassette deck, there's sites that say these are the best decks, and they give you a price range. I'm going to throw another one into the ring. I think this is a decent little unit. It is purely mechanical, and it doesn't have the soft touch stuff, but it works. I mean, what do you need? You hit play, you hit stop, fast forward. It works. It works fine. And this records very well. Nice and crisp highs, good bottom end. I'm kind of gobsmacked, because when I looked at this, I said, man, this is a cheapy little deck. Well, I got to tell you, it performs very, very well, and that's kind of my surprise. I just went into this with my mind made up. Junk, not junk. The other thing I like about this is that it's very easy to work on. The deck comes out very easily. I don't know what this one is like, but even if you had to, you just take some screws out of the front cover, tilt it a little bit, and that sucker's off. So that's the other thing I like about this, is that it's easy to get to stuff. Hard to beat. Low cost, great function, great sound. Lots of cool features if you like playing with your APSS. None of my other decks have that, I don't believe. So it's just a neat little thing to play with. And that is one of the things that bugs me about cassettes. It's hard to zip ahead to another song when you want to. APSS makes that a lot nicer. Not as nice as CDs or MP3s, I'll grant you that. But for the cassettes that I'm not going to digitize, and there will be those, I can put them in here, and I can advance to the songs as I wish, a little bit faster. Kind of a nice feature. And as I'm talking about this, I'm kind of wondering, do I really want the Pioneer to be my primary? I got to think about that. But anyway, if you watched to this point, thank you. And hope you come back with the next whatever it is I do, whether it's the Sankyo or some other project. I will be doing others. Unfortunately, summertime has made it. Well, I've got projects to do, and it keeps me very busy. In fact, I haven't gone and done some things I really want to do because I've had things I've had to do. So there probably won't be that many videos during the summer months, but hopefully come winter I'll spend more time on making more. I've got some projects that I want to finish up. One of my early ones that I got sidetracked by a bunch of others, which I'm going to try to avoid that in the future. But anyway, again, thanks for watching. I am done. Signing off.